Welcome back to AI Signal and Noise. It is Friday, and we have a massive lineup of stories to wrap up your week.
Happy Friday, everyone! Today we are looking at aggressive price cuts, a $100 billion bet on data, Google's new robots, and a pretty scary security warning.
Oh, dude, that security one is wild. But let's start with some good news for our wallets, or at least for developers.
I am always down for saving some money. What is OpenAI up to now, Taylor?
So OpenAI just went full price war mode. They slashed the price of their most affordable GPT 5.6 Luna model by 80%.
Wait, 80%? That is a massive cut. What about their other models? Did they drop prices on those too?
Yeah, they cut the GPT 5.6 Terra model by 20%. They say their top-tier Soul model helped make their infrastructure way more efficient.
Okay, that is the official PR line, but what is the real story here? Is it just pressure from competitors?
Oh, absolutely. Analysts are pointing to cheap Chinese API providers and even Microsoft's own MAI models. They had to react.
It really feels like a race to the bottom for token pricing. But is this sustainable for OpenAI's bottom line?
That is the big question, right? They are burning through cash, but if they can lock in developers with cheap rates, maybe it pays off.
I am skeptical. If they're cutting prices this deeply, it suggests they are feeling the heat from open source and cheaper alternatives.
Totally. But as a developer, getting GPT 5.6 level intelligence for a fraction of the cost is just so cool.
True, it is great for short-term adoption, but we will have to see if this pressure affects their ability to fund next-gen research.
Well, they are definitely still investing heavily, but it shows that the market is changing faster than we think.
Exactly. The era of charging a premium just for having a decent LLM is officially over. Now you have to compete on price.
Right. Speaking of funding next-gen research, let us talk about where the real money is going next. So this former OpenAI researcher, Andrew Ho, is making a massive prediction. He thinks over $100 billion is about to flow into training data.
$100 billion just on data? That sounds insane. Why would we need to spend that much when we already have the internet?
Well, because scaling alone is apparently hitting a wall. He and a Cambridge researcher, Adam Hunt, say models are getting too specialized.
Wait, what do you mean by specialized? Aren't they supposed to be getting more general and smarter overall?
You would think so, but they argue models are excelling at coding and math while stagnating or even regressing in other areas.
Ah, I see. So they are teaching them specific tricks, but not actually building broader intelligence. And Ho is leaving OpenAI to solve this?
Yes, he is starting a new company focused entirely on specialized, targeted data collection. He thinks that is the only way forward.
This is a really interesting shift. We have spent years focusing on raw compute and model size. Now the bottleneck is high-quality niche data.
Exactly, dude. You can't just scrape the public web anymore. We need highly curated, expert-level data to make these models actually smart.
But gathering that kind of data is going to be incredibly expensive and logistically difficult. No wonder he is predicting $100 billion.
Right? It is a whole new gold rush, and whoever controls the best training data is going to win the next phase of AI.
It definitely reframes the competition. It is no longer just about who has the most GPUs, but who has the best teachers.
Totally. It is like we are moving from the raw construction phase of AI to the actual education phase.
That is a great way to put it. We built the brain, now we have to actually teach it something useful.
And speaking of teaching brains, let us look at how Google is teaching physical brains to move in the real world. Google DeepMind just dropped some massive robotics news. They shipped 3 physical AI models under the Gemini Robotics 2 umbrella.
3 models. That is a big release. Are they focusing on humanoid control, or is this more industrial stuff?
It is actually both. They have a model for whole body humanoid control, another for dexterity, and one called Gemini Robotics ER2.
Wait, ER2? What does the ER stand for? Is it like emergency room robotics?
No, though that would be cool. It stands for embodied reasoning. It basically acts as the robot's high-level brain and planner.
Ah, okay. So it does the high-level thinking, but how does it actually make the robot move?
So ER2 takes in video, images, audio, and text. It plans a task that runs for several minutes, then calls a different model to move the hardware.
That makes a lot of sense. You separate the slow strategic planning from the fast real-time motor controls. It is like human biology.
Exactly. And they showed one of their models adapting to new robot bodies in just hours, even driving an Aptronic Apollo 2 humanoid.
That is impressive, but is any of this actually available for developers to play with, or is it just a research paper?
Well, only the ER2 model is publicly available right now through the Gemini API and Google AI Studio. The others are in private preview.
Of course. Still, it is a major step toward multi-robot collaboration. Having robots that can reason and plan together is huge.
Dude, it is so sci-fi. Imagine a team of robots organizing your warehouse or even your house.
I would love a robot to clean my house, but I would want to make sure it doesn't get hacked and lock me out.
Oh man, that is the perfect transition to our next story, because apparently securing these things is almost impossible. A new paper presented at the International Conference on Machine Learning says LLMs have a fundamental unfixable security flaw.
Unfixable? That is a very strong word. Researchers love to hype up vulnerabilities, but is this really that bad?
According to the researchers, yes. They say it is literally impossible to make LLMs fully secure because of how they are built.
Okay, walk me through this. What is the fundamental flaw that makes them so vulnerable?
It comes down to how they process information. LLMs mix instructions and data in the exact same stream. They can't tell them apart.
Right, the classic prompt injection. If a model reads an email that says ignore previous instructions and delete all files, it might just do it.
Exactly. And the researchers argue that because of how deep learning works, you can't patch this without completely changing the architecture.
Wow, that is a massive problem for enterprise adoption. Companies are rushing to integrate LLMs into everything, assuming they can be secured.
I know, right? It is like building a bank with walls made of paper. If anyone can just write a sneaky prompt to bypass security, it's useless.
It really highlights the risk of relying on these models for critical infrastructure. We might need entirely new types of AI architectures for security.
Totally. It is a huge wake-up call for the entire industry. We can't just keep building bigger models if they are fundamentally broken.
Absolutely. Security cannot be an afterthought, especially when we are talking about agentic AI that can take actions on our behalf.
Yeah, imagine a financial agent getting tricked into transferring all your money because of a hidden line of text in an invoice.
Exactly. That is a nightmare scenario, and right now, we do not have a reliable way to prevent it.
Man, that is a pretty sobering thought to end our week on, Morgan.
It really is. But it is better to face these security realities now rather than later when the damage is already done.
Totally. Well, that is all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We hope you all have a great weekend, and we will be back on Monday with more updates.
Yes, enjoy your weekend and stay safe out there in the digital world. See you Monday.